Go ahead. All right, y'all. All right, we're back on, y'all. Okay, Shalom Israel. Shalom! Shabbat Shalom to everybody online. Shabbat Shalom to everybody in here. We're going to go ahead and get class rolling. If anybody has any questions, prepare those questions. We're going to do our little announcements and go ahead and get class rolling. For you new brothers and sisters or whoever tunes in that doesn't know where we're located, she's going to put our locations up there on the screen. The times, the addresses. If you want to get a hold of us, you can get a hold of us. Please support Mashaba's Blog Talk Radio. A lot of information comes out of that, so please get on there, get those classes. What else we got here? Support our other channels. Why is this doing that? What? Why does it do that with that one?
Probably loose.
Is it loose?
Class.
Okay. All right. So just brothers and sisters, please support our YouTube channels. Use them as flyers. Get the word out. Do our part. Okay. If you are interested in garments, any new brothers and sisters interested in garments and getting their garments done, check out Israel Wear. Okay. We got some sharp hands over here, hefty hands, blessed by the Spirit of the Lord, and they do mightily garments. All right, check out Sweet Ambiance. We do all of our soaps, bath bombs, body butters. If you want to support us, you can support that way also. All natural body oils, stuff for your hair, stuff for your beard. We got it, we do it. All right, what else we got up there? Now skip that one to last. Or before last. Well, hit the chosen creations one. Let's get that out the way.
It's not. This is a different one. I have to put it in.
Okay, so what else we got next, sis?
Donation.
Okay. No, but yes. If you want to give any alms, you can give alms. What else?
That's all it's.
Okay, and if you want to get a hold of us, get a hold of us. All right, our number's there on the screen. So let's go ahead and open up with questions. See if anybody has anything we want to go over, and then if not, we're going to go into this class. Yeah.
Can we go over what happens after we die?
What happens after we die? Yes. So she wants to know what happens when we die. Okay, what does the scripture say about what happens in death? So let's start at go to Ecclesiasticus. Ecclesiasticus 17 in the Apocrypha. Ecclesiasticus 17. So the question is on death. You can go ahead and throw that up there, sis. The question is on death. What happens when we die, according to the Bible? Go ahead.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 17 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord created man of the earth.
Right.
And turned him into it again.
Right. This is a process that happens to all of us. You know, this is going to come soon to a lot of us. The Most High is going to take a lot of our people out very quick. The Most High is doing that now, putting a lot of our people to death now. And there's a lot of us that's going to die because it's your time. Right? Go ahead.
He gave them few days in a short time.
Right. Most High cut those. Remember, Methuselah lived 960? 969? Right? We were supposed to live 1,000 years. He cut that all the way down to 70. Maybe 80 if you got good health. Now, you're blessed if you live to 100. You know what I mean? But living to 100, how you gonna live? Are you gonna live to where you just shaking all the time? You're gonna live with cancer? Like, the Most High gave us the wisdom and knowledge to live those 1,000 years. And we, through sin, the Most High took that away. So, this is the process of death. Go ahead.
And power also over the things therein.
Right. Go ahead.
He endued them with strength by themselves.
Right. So, jump from there. Go to Job 34, verse 14. So, she's asking about death, the process. Go ahead.
Job chapter 34, verse 14.
Go ahead.
If he set his heart upon man,
right.
If he gather unto himself his spirit and his breath.
Right. So, what happens when you die? The Most High sets his heart upon you. It's your time. Right? One misconception is that you escape death. There's no escaping death. There's escaping a death-defying situation. There's escaping that the Most High took you out of this turmoil or a situation that you were going to be, you could have been destroyed. But there's no escaping death. You know, you're not going to run from the Most High. You can't escape what the Most High has ordained upon all men, all women, all children, all animals. This is on everybody. Right? Go ahead.
All flesh shall perish together.
Right. All flesh shall perish. So it's a process. There's nobody that can escape it. Right? But what happens? What happens when you get to this point to where your number is called? All right? Go to Psalms 104, verse 29.
Psalms chapter 104, verse 29.
Go ahead.
Thou hidest thy face.
Right. So what happens is the Most High hides his face. The Most High hides his face from you. You're praying, you're begging, you're asking the Father, right? And there's no more mercy for you. Right? The protection that the Most High has given you is gone. Right? So he hides his face. What happened with Israel? When we disobeyed the commandments of the Most High, and we cried unto him, he hid his face from us. So read.
Thou takest away their breath.
Right. So thou hidest thy face, and he takes away their breath. Right? Go ahead.
They die.
They what?
They die.
Right. So this is the process. It's telling you right here. The Most High hides his face, and whatever calamity, right, is overcome you, that's how you're going to go out. Right? Hold that. Go to Ecclesiastes 12 and 6 and 7. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 12 and verse 6.
Go ahead.
For ever the silver cord be loose.
Right? So what he's talking about here, when you read this, as we read down, he's talking about the spiritual umbilical cord that connects you to the Father. Like, it's a connection. It's a severing. That's why you can be, your body can be in a coma, but your mind is still connected, right? It's still there. It ain't been snipped. That umbilical cord, the spiritual one, he calls it the silver cord. It has to be cut. Right? It makes sense though. When you look at how children come into the world, right? They come in through that umbilical cord. Right? And you cut that cord, and that's how they come into the world. Right? Well, it's the same thing when going out. There's a spiritual cord that has to be cut for you to go to the Father. Right? Go ahead.
Or the golden bowl be broken.
Or the golden bowl. So remember, he's just using an analogy. He's using a symbolism. Right? the scripture is not saying we know if it's actual umbilical cord to the Father. What he's saying is that there's a connection that is spiritually, that we're connected to the Father, right? Or connected, rather to our body, right? In our mind, in our soul. And when that is cut, what happens? Your body shuts down, right? All your organs shut down, right? The blood stops flowing. If it ain't flowed out, right? This is death. And you stop what? You take that last breath, and then your heart stops pumping, right? That's the process. But something has to be broken in this spiritual connection with your mind, your body. They call it electrical signals, right? Your electrical signals. Esau's finding all of that out, right? Which Moses already told us. Like your body is already connected to the spiritual realm, right? Remember, we're just meat, flesh. But your mind is connected to the spirit, right? That's what they call electrical signals, right? Go ahead.
Will the pitcher be broken at the fountain?
Will the pitcher be broken at the fountain? Imagine you drinking out of the fountain and it's chopped in half, right? That fountain that pipe is not going to do what it's supposed to do, right? If you cut that umbilical cord, it's a disconnect, right? Go ahead.
Will the wheel broken at the cistern?
Yeah, imagine a wheel broken at the axle, right? The car can't function no more. Well, that's how it is when our connection is cut between our mind, our body, the spirit in our body. It's just you're gone. So you see how there is no such thing as what did they call it? Oh, I died and came back. No. You know, once it's broken, it's broken. Yeah. Like you can't connect that. The only one that's going to be able to reconnect that is the Father when He resurrects you in the last day, and you have to stand before Him in judgment. But there ain't no such thing as, you know what I mean? I was dead and I came back from death.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you be having all those stories about how they be saying they died, they walked with Christ. He showed them the gates.
No, let me say this on that part.
Yeah. Because
remember, your mind, the Most High does show man things. Yeah. Like you can have visions. You can have visions and you can have dreams. Right? But you got to think about when you get into that coma state, your mind is in a deep, right? It is no longer connected to this. Yeah. Right? Like even when you're sleeping, where are you connected to? Right. Where are you in tune more with? The spiritual realm. Right? Now, we know a lot of it comes through daily activities in your mind creating these images. But we know visions are real. They come of the Most High. And if they be another angel, right? So you can't discredit everybody.
I mean, if they walk with white Christ.
Yeah. Your mind's playing tricks on you, right? Do. Right. But go ahead and read.
Verse 7.
Then
shall the dust return to the earth as it was.
Right, so hold that. So jump back to 104:29.
Psalms chapter 104, verse 29. Thou hidest thy face.
Yeah.
They are troubled.
Right, so now we're understanding the process. Literally, these two scriptures tells you the process of what happens when you die. The Most High hides His face, right? When He hides His face, what happens then? The spiritual umbilical cord is cut, right? According to Ecclesiastes 12:6, right? It's broken. Come? Okay, that spiritual and biblical cord is broken. Okay, and then it says, what else?
Thou takest away their breath.
Right, when that spiritual and biblical cord is broken, the breath, your human breath is gone. Right? You pump your last you pump your last heartbeat. Right? Most High shuts that down. Go ahead.
They died.
They what?
They died.
They died. That's the process. The Most High takes you, right? We're going to go from there. We're going to find out. I don't want to jump. Let me see. Okay, so they die, right? Now go back to 12:7. Oh, I'm sorry. They die and finish it.
And return to their dust.
And then we go to the dust, right? Another scripture to prove that we buried each other. We didn't cremate each other. We buried each other. All of our customs were the buried. The only one time you read about it is when they defile the body and they do some craziness, like they chopped off Saul's head, right? Or they chopped up a woman in the scriptures, and like her pieces were scattered throughout, right? That's the only time you hear about us burning the body, right? But other than that, we don't cremate, we don't burn, we always buried. We buried everybody, right? So y'all see this, right? Does it make sense so far, Shamar? Okay. All right. So jump back to Ecclesiastes 12. Did you read 7 already? Go ahead.
And the Spirit shall return unto Yahweh who gave it.
Okay. So you see how you read that? Proverbs is telling us what? Psalms is telling us what? He hides his face, right? And then the breath is taken, right? And we know what happens when the breath is taken. Ecclesiasticus tells us what? The spiritual and biblical cord is cut, right? Okay. That connection is severed. Then it tells us in Psalms, you die, your body goes back to the dust. But then what happens in 12:7? Read that.
And the Spirit shall return unto Yahweh who gave it.
Right, because the Spirit is eternal. Right? The Spirit is eternal. So your soul goes to the Father. So all these people that talk about I'm gonna escape by committing suicide, you're not escaping the Most High. You can't run from the Father. There's no escape from Him. So y'all see the process, right? Your spirit goes to the Father. Go ahead.
Vanities of vanities.
Okay, so go from there. Go to Ecclesiastes. Or jump over to Ecclesiastes 3 verse 1.
Ecclesiastes.
I'm sorry, 3:21. Excuse me.
Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and verse 21. Who knows the spirit of man?
Right.
That goeth upward.
The spirit of man goes where?
Upward.
Right. Our spirit goes straight to the Father. Right? You get hit by that truck, your spirit jump right out, shoots right to the Most High. Right? You get shot in the head. Yeah, well, sometimes some cats get shot a few times before they finally shut down. Some cats' bodies, man. A lot of people can take some shots. You know what I mean? Some people take one shot and then just end up dead. But you got another person get shot 5-6 times and still lives. We know that's all the Most High, right? But when you die, your spirit goes to the Father. Go ahead.
And the spirit of the beast that goes downward to the earth.
Right, and the spirit of the beast goes downward to the earth, because there's no dogs in heaven. spiritual doggy heaven. Right? Go from there. Go to 2 Corinthians 5:1. So your soul, I know we say spirit, but there's a difference. That your soul goes to the Most High. Right? Your soul, because we are soul beings, trapped in flesh. Right? In the spirit, these spirits you have on you, right? These spirits you have on you is what, it can be a righteous spirit or a negative spirit. So, just the soul thing. The soul, read that. 2 Corinthians 5:1.
2 Corinthians chapter 5 verse 1.
Go ahead.
For we know that if our earthly house of this tabernacle were dissolved,
Right?
we have a building of God, and house not made with hands.
Right, that is your soul. If your body gets dissolved, your spirit, your soul goes back to the Most High. Go ahead.
Eternal in the heavens.
Is what?
Eternal in the heavens.
That your soul is eternal in the heavens. So there's no escaping that. Go ahead.
For in this we grow, earnestly, desiring to be clothed upon with our house.
Okay, jump from there. Go to Job 12:10. So is this answering your question so far? So this is what happens. Your soul goes to the Father. It's not like America and Greeks. The Greeks think. The Greeks and the Romans think your body, you're a mist, and you're going to just disappear. And you know what? YOLO, you only live life once. There's not going to be any repercussions. Just go ahead and live life. Right? There's no punishment afterwards. Nah, that's punishment. You're going to stand before the Most High. Go ahead.
Job chapter 12 verse 10.
Uh-huh.
In whose hand is the soul of every living thing.
Right? The Most High. Uh-huh.
And the breath of all mankind.
Go ahead.
Doeth not thy ear try words.
Right. So, the Most High is the Father of all souls. So, He controls that. So, along death, now that you know the process of what happens when you die, right? What other question in there were you thinking of? Because that's the literal process, step by step, right? But what are you thinking?
Okay, so from there, I guess, how are you judged? How will you be judged?
How will we be judged?
Yes, I don't know if I'm articulating the question correctly, but how will you be judged, and what will happen to the people that are judged? I guess higher in favor. I don't know if that's the correct way to say it.
Right. Okay, well, let's go there. There's a few that I'm thinking of. Go to Revelations 20. Go to Revelations 20. And verse 12.
Come. Revelations chapter 20 and verse 12.
So start at 11.
Come. Verse 11.
Right, hold on, wait till everybody get it. Y'all got it? Okay, go ahead.
And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away.
Right?
And there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great.
Right, now that goes into Yahushua destroying, and nothing is going to stand before him. Okay, it goes into, when you go into Esdras 13, it tells us what's going to happen with these nations and people, right? But let's get to your question. Go ahead.
Stand before God.
Right?
And the books were opened.
So what's going to happen is, after this period, after everything's destroyed, right? There's going to be a period where everybody stands before the Most High. Go ahead.
And the books were opened.
And the books were open. Now, let me ask y'all, who knows what it means by the books were open? You can raise your hand. I want to pick somebody, give everybody a chance. Yeah.
I'll wait then. I mean, well.
No, I was talking to him. I was talking to him. Go ahead.
Oh.
Yeah, I was talking to him.
Oh, okay.
Because he's the first one always, which is good. Good. I just want to give everybody, yeah.
It'll be your deeds that the Most High is gonna, that He told you that He's gonna try you by fire, and what remained was going to be what you would have been your reward. But the books open is everything you've done on earth.
Okay, all right. So it says the books, right? Let's read. Let's read on. We're gonna find out. Go ahead.
And another book was opened.
Okay, let's start from the beginning. Read it again.
And I saw the dead, small and great,
Right.
stand before God. And the books were opened. And another book was opened.
Go ahead.
Which is the book of life.
So, what is the book of life? The Word. It tells you what books are going to be open. So, the book of life is going to be open. Where does the life come from? The words I speak to you, they are what? Right. So, this is going to be open. Right? Go ahead.
And the dead were judged out of those things.
Right. So, go ahead.
Which were written in the books. According to their works.
So, you got one book is the judgment book. And then you got another book, which is going to be your what? Your works. You're going to be judged by your works. What you did. Go to Daniel's 12:1. Daniel's 12:1. For y'all tuning in, she's asking about death. Switched over from death to when we going to be judged. Read that.
Daniel chapter 12 and verse 1.
Go ahead.
And at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which standeth for the children of thy people.
Go ahead.
And there shall be a time of trouble, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time.
Go ahead.
And at that time thy people shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book.
Right. Everyone that should be found written in the book. Go ahead.
And many of them that sleep in the dust of the earth shall awake.
Right, because there's going to be a lot of us that might die, that might pass. Right? Yahushua might not come for another 60 years. Lord, hope it's not so, right? But you never know. No man knoweth, right? So Yahushua might come for another 60 years. We'd all be dead. Right? Well, at least some of us. Right? I mean, or not?
I got another 60 y'all.
You got another 60? Bruh, I don't want to live another 60 years here, truthfully. Please take me earlier. I'd rather go. Another 60 years here, that's whack. America's whack. You know what I mean? At that time, I'm going to be broke down, beat up. You know what I mean? I'll be 100? 100, yeah, a lot. That's a lot. It'd be nice to live with all my vigor and youth. But it don't happen like that all the time. But yeah, if he comes for another 60 years, the ones that, some of us is going to be dead, some of us is going to be alive, right? We don't know. Go ahead.
Some to everlasting life.
Right, so the ones that are dead, they're going to be raised up, some to what?
Everlasting life.
Right?
And to some, shame and everlasting contempt.
Why? Let's see if y'all paying attention. Why?
What's the question?
Why were some raised to everlasting life? And why was some raised to everlasting contempt? Go ahead.
That would be the last day.
Yeah.
That would be the last day, and this is judgment. So some would be raised according to their, or judged according to their works, whether they be good or whether they be evil.
Right. Some are going to be judged. We're going to be judged according to our works. What did you do? What works did you lay down? What you do with the Most High, for the Most High? What you do in this life? And then Yahushua goes through and tells you. He tells you about the servants of the Most High. The slothful ones. Right? There's some that buried their talents. The ones that were bid into the marriage and they weren't all the way prepared. Right? Yahushua tells us. The servants that begin to do the work of the Most High, but then they left off because they didn't think the Most High was going to come. Like, he literally goes through and tells you every situation that could be with the Hebrew Israelite man and woman. Right? The ones that they got the knowledge, but the things of the world choked them, the riches. Right? My woman took me out. Right? That's what the scriptures say. Right? Or money took me out. Right? So, every situation or variable that you kind of like make sense in your own mind to why you going to do your thing, we got to realize that we're going to be judged for our works. And you should, I mean, a smart guy would at least knock off the ones that are in the Bible, right? Like, okay, I can't use that one. He already got that one down. Like, this one isn't going to fly with him. He wrote that in the book of life. That's the first thing that should happen. It's like, get that out of the way, that not making the same excuses that he literally spoke to the apostles and said you would make those excuses. So we're going to be judged for our actions. Right? Go ahead.
And they that be wise shall shine as the brightness of the firmament.
Right, but the ones that are wise, the ones that do have works, right? They're going to do what?
Shine as bright as the firmament.
Go ahead.
And they that turn many to righteousness.
And they that do what?
Turn many to righteousness.
Oh no, I don't give a damn about that. You know, I'm trying to do me.
Turn many to righteousness.
Go ahead.
As the stars forever and ever.
Right.
But thou, O Daniel.
You see, he said, and they that turn them to righteousness, turn cast to righteousness. Oh my God, we have a gift beyond. That's why when we talk about the 144,000, we don't know who they are. We're all trying to fill the slot. We're all trying to jump in those seats, but there's a high requirement. Yes, you might, when you hear the word and then you be the last one, and, in the last hour to come in, you think they're going to have the same reward, power, stature in the kingdom like these guys? No, there's going to be stature in the kingdom. Now, the beautiful thing is making it, right? Listen, let me get there. But the one striving for this 144,000 seat is on a whole nother level. Right? Where you at?
Verse 4.
Go ahead.
But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words.
Okay, so that's on that. Go from there. Go just to show you when it says works. Go to Matthews. Go to Matthews real quick. I'm just going to jump over here real quick. Hold on 1 second. Oh, wow. Go to, just to show you on your question. Let's see here. It might be, I think it might be Luke. Go to Matthew 19:27. Just on this works. Go to Matthew 19:27 real quick. Read that.
Matthew chapter 19, verse 27. Then answered Peter and said unto him, Behold, we have forsaken all and followed thee. What shall we have therefore?
Right. So what we gonna be? What are we gonna? What is gonna be our reward for losing and giving up everything? Go ahead.
And Yahweh said unto him, Verily I say unto you, that ye which have followed me in the regeneration, when the Son of Man.
Right. So the regeneration is what? We just read it. It's the what? What?
Judgment.
It's the resurrection. He's going to regenerate your body in the earth. Right? Some shall be raised to everlasting life. Some shall be raised to everlasting contempt, condemnation. Go ahead.
When the Son of Man shall sit in the throne of his glory.
Right?
He also shall sit upon 12 thrones.
Go ahead.
Judging the 12 tribes of Israel.
Right. So y'all see this? Yeah. So, what are we giving up? For what? Nothing.
The lust of the eyes.
Nothing. We're not giving up nothing. Really, when it compares to the will of the Most High. Right? And the reward that the Most High is going to give the righteous. This is nothing. Right? So, this is what the Most High is telling us. You got one on that? Okay. Right. So, go to 2nd Esdras 8. I'm sorry, 9 and verse start at 6.
2nd Esdras chapter 9 and verse 6.
Yeah.
Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders, and powerful works, and endings and effects and signs.
Right.
And every one that shall be saved, and shall be able to escape by his works.
By his what?
His works.
Right. Everyone that is able to escape is going to escape by his what?
His works.
By our works. What did you do? Right? 2nd Esdras 9, 6, and 7. You're going to escape by your works. What did you do? What did you fight? Huh? Did you give up the flesh? Did you fight against it? Or did you give into it all the time? Where was your mind at? Where was your spirit at? Right? Go to read that one more time.
And every one that shall be saved, and shall be able to escape by his works.
By his what?
His works.
Go ahead.
And by faith.
And by faith. Works and faith. Where's the other one?
2nd Ezra chapter 8 and verse 33.
God. For the just.
Y'all got it? Go ahead.
For the just, which have many good works.
For the just have what?
Many good works.
Where are your works? What are you doing? That's why it's very important. I'm going to just throw this one in here. Alright? Because we hear about these works, right? But this one is one that got to be added to that, right? On top of that, you gotta have this. Colossians 3:23. Gotta have that one. You got to, because brothers and sisters think I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna do it like a robot, with really no love, or really second guessing and questioning myself, right? But the Most High don't want it like that. Read that.
Colossians chapter 3, verse 23. And whatsoever you do, do it heartily, as to the Lord.
Do it heartily to who?
As to the Lord.
Go ahead.
And not unto men.
Uh-huh.
Knowing that of the Lord you shall receive the reward of inheritance.
Right, you see that? Knowing that you should receive the Lord a reward and an inheritance. You see? Go ahead.
For ye serve the Lord Christ.
You're supposed to serve who?
The Lord Christ.
Go ahead.
But he that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong.
Go ahead.
Which ye have done.
Listen, don't worry about what that other person is doing. They're going to get what's coming to them. Just like you're going to get what's coming to you. He that sowed to the flesh shall what? Reap to the flesh. He that sowed to the Spirit shall reap to the Spirit. So what works did you do for the Father? The apostles showed us, Christ showed us what are the works. So you gotta get your mind right. You know what I mean? Like the scriptures make it plain. What are the works that the Father wanted you to do? That's why, just talking to sister the other day, it's like, are you called? Because when you're called, there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts. Right? When you're called, you're called. Obviously, because your awakening came at a point in time in your life at that point in time for a reason. So when you're called, you are called. What are you going to do with that calling? You can ignore it or not. It's on you. It ain't on us. We just messengers. You know what I mean? I didn't call you. You know what I mean? The Most High called you. So you got to see, back to your question, sticking to your question, the judgment is going to be, you're going to be judged according to your works, your actions, and what you do in the spirit of the Most High. Right? Now, you got a few works that we fight for, right? The scriptures tell you that we were supposed to bring forth fruit. Right? Meat for repentance, right? Okay, well, you got fruit that's within you that you have to produce. So I got to produce fruit within myself that's growth, spiritual growth. Put off the old man, put on the new, right? But then I also got the fruit that I what? By my works, right? And the outward, right? Hey, brother, the scriptures tell you, hey, sister, the scriptures tell you, that's my outward works, right? Watch, let me show you. It's in Corinthians. That way, I mean, she's asking the question. It's only it'll only be proper to show what the works are, right? It's in Corinthians, that's not it. It says
2 Corinthians 11:15.
Okay, let's get it. Let's see what you got.
2 Corinthians 11:15.
Therefore, it is no great thing if his ministers also be transformed as the ministers
Wait.
of...
Is that the scripture you wanted?
I was asking you.
Oh, no, that's not it. No, it's, let me get it here. It is 2 Corinthians 3. I'm saying second. 1 Corinthians 3. 1 Corinthians 3. And you're going to start at verse... 1 Corinthians 3, let's start at verse 11. Go ahead.
1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 11.
Go ahead.
For other foundation can no man lay, that is laid, which is Yahweh Shah.
So imagine yourself being a house that the Lord is building on. Your foundation has to be Yahweh Shah. You're the house, right? Yahweh Shah is rebuilding you, right? When he walked into the house, it was hood. You had crack bottles, you know what I mean? You had beer bottles, you had drawers over here. So what do you got to do with that house? You got holes in the wall. You got to what? The scriptures tell you. You got to break that house down. We got to start over. Let's build this foundation proper on the foundation of Yahweh Shah. Let's start all over. Nah. You know what I mean? It's fine though. Don't worry about the crack valves, the needles, the draw. Don't worry about that. Yahweh Shah gave you grace. He going to give you another shot. Now, we're going to clean this place out. Now, when we sweep it, you can't yell at me when we sweep it. Why are you sweeping this out? Bruh, did you come to clean the house now? You came to clean the house. Okay, why are you yelling at me when I'm cleaning out the crack valve? Okay, all right. You're letting me, okay, let's clean this out. Let's start laying our foundation. Sure, you got cracks in it. Sometimes you got move that old foundation out. Redo the whole foundation, right? Because it's what? It's false. It's fake. It's faulty, right? A lot of us build a foundation on what? A magician foundation. Trap door, right? You can step on it and just, right? It ain't really what you thought it was. So the scriptures is telling us what? That foundation got to be relaid. This is going to go into your question. Go ahead.
Now, if any man build upon this foundation, gold, silver, precious stone,
right?
Wood, hay, stubble.
Right. So what foundation are you building? Obviously, you want to build a quality foundation. You want to build the highest quality foundation. Go ahead.
Every man's work shall be made manifest.
So every man's work shall be made manifest, right? As we're building. So your works that come from your soul, your spirit, they're going to be made manifest. What type of works they are. If you got demons on you, you can't hide that. The demons are going to show forth through your what? Through your actions. You know what I mean? It's always like those vampire movies. The one trying to hide it, like they get bit. And they just hide it and then, what's wrong with you? What's up? Nothing. I'm good. No, bro, there's stuff. Your eyes, you're looking pale, right? You can't hide that, right? So it'd be best you just redo the foundation the proper way, right? Don't come in trying to hide and trying to mix the old cloth, the new wine, the old mortar with the new mortar. Like, bro, just let it be Yahweh Shai. Go ahead.
For the day shall declare it.
Right, the day. What day? Well, when you go through the gospel, there's many trials that declare what you are. It can be that one moment. You've been getting all these classes on patience, right? Then the Most High is going to eventually do what? Okay, you've been sitting there listening. The one day is going to prove the test is right. That moment, that are you patient? Or whether it be lust or doubt or anger or jealousy, right? It's going to prove if you're just sitting here, raising your hands and acting like you're part of it as opposed to being part of it. You see? So your works are going to be revealed what manner of works they are when you see your actions. If I smack you, I can't say I love you. I'm loving you while I smack you. I'm smacking you like, but I love you though. No, you don't love me. You're not showing forth the works. Go ahead.
Because it shall be revealed by fire.
Right, because it goes back to what the brother said earlier. Everything is going to be revealed by fire. The fire meaning the trial. So what are we going to be judged by? Accumulation of our works in our battle through these trials. Right? Every time the trial comes, right? Your flesh is calling you again, and you're like, man, should I fall into it? Well, this is trial number what? 100 million times 4. Go. And you what? You either pass the test or you give in to the flesh again. Now, the Most High is going to judge you off your heart, right? Because He gave you grace. So He's going to judge you off your heart. But your heart is going to say really what you desire the most through your actions. If I gave you 100 million times, you know what I mean, to show and prove, and you showed me 2 or 3 times that you conquered it, it's kind of like, come on, Doc. It's got to be consistency. And even the greatest man will say, damn, can I at least, the humblest man would say, can I at least see 50-50? That 50-50 is not good. 50-50 is not good. That's like 50 times you in the 50% you in the spirit, 50% you out of the spirit. You get a toss of a coin today. Right? It's a toss of a coin. You in the spirit today or not? Nah, bruh. We gotta think like this, because if not, you get comfortable and are like, well, by my calculations, I was in the spirit last year on the 3rd, and it's like, bro, but you had demons on you all the way from that. So your works, that's the inward man, the pouring out of all the filth and the things that you're supposed to be changing. The lust, the pride, the doubt, the envy, the malice, the strife, the hatred. Right? And then you got, watch, read on.
And the fire shall try every man's work.
See, the fire shall try every man's works. Go ahead.
Of what sort it is.
Go ahead.
If any man's work abide which he hath built thereupon.
Right.
He shall receive a reward.
Right. So, you're going to have works that prove you. Right? What type of works are they? Right? Go ahead.
If any man's work shall be burned.
Right? Go ahead.
He shall suffer loss.
Right? You're gonna suffer loss. You're gonna lose that. Go ahead.
But he himself shall be saved.
Right? He himself shall be saved by what?
Yet so as by fire.
So here's the deal. Let's make it sense. Let's make sense of this. Okay. I created this. Now it has to stand the test of time. Right? If it doesn't, it is not good enough, it got leaks and holes in it, that's going to be destroyed. But me, myself, also will be tested. So your works, the things you put out, the things you do, right? I taught that brother. Cool, I did my job, right? He's going to be revealed, she's going to be revealed by what? By fire. They got to go through it. But yet and still, what's coming back to me? I got to be tried too. So all of our works, whether you put it out, whether they're inward works, everything's going to be tried by fire. Everybody's going to be revealed what manner of man or woman you are in the last days. And that's what's going to stand before the Most High. Go ahead.
Know ye not that ye are the temple of Yahweh?
Right?
And that the Spirit of Yahweh dwelleth in you.
So you get that, right? Right. So that's going into the works part. That's what it means by you're going to be judged by your works. I mean, we could literally keep going and going. I can go through the apostles. I can go through how they build, what they gave up, what they lost, how they lived. We could go to Yahushua. You're talking about classes on classes on classes on the works that we're trying to attain to. One more just on this judgment. Well, we're going to be judged by our works, right? Go to Matthew 24. Come on, we'll read that. Let him read that. Matthew 24.
Verse 1.
24 and 31.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 31.
Mm-hmm.
And he shall send his angels with a great sound.
You got to read a little bit louder so they can hear you online, or they're not going to hear you. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 24 and verse 31.
Uh-huh.
And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet.
Oh, I'm tripping. Excuse me. Matthew's 25:31. Excuse me. 25:31. Forgive me.
Matthew chapter 25 and verse 31.
Keep it loud. Come on.
When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all his holy angels with him.
So we back at that Daniel's time, right? That Yahushua is going to come. And we know what he's coming to do with his angels. But 50,000 classes, right? He's coming to thrash, right? He's coming to destroy. Go ahead.
Then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory.
Go ahead.
And before him shall be gathered all nations.
Right. So remember, Yahushua is going to come. All nations are going to be gathered before him. It tells you that in, I think, Zechariah or Malachi about the valley of Jehoshaphat. Right? All the nations are going to be gathered to this valley. Right? And he's going to, it uses the word plead with them. Basically, he's going to deal with all the nations. Right? Go ahead.
And he shall separate them one from another.
Right? So that, yeah, the Most High is going to, all that, well, it doesn't matter what nation you are. No, it matters. He's going to separate the nations one from another. Go ahead.
As a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats.
Go ahead.
And he shall set the sheep on his right hand.
Right.
But the goats on the left.
Right. We know that the sheep always were referred to in the Bible as the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Right? Matthew 10, 5 and 6, Matthew 15, 24, Matthew 18, 11. Right? All these scriptures show us that the sheep is Israel. Right? And the goat, it tells you that that's referring to the Grecians. Right? So it says that they were referred to as the rough goat of Grecia. Right? In Daniel. So the Most High is going to separate all nations, like he would do the sheep from the goat. Right? Go ahead.
Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand.
Remember, we're still in your question, what happens in Judgment Day? This is it. Right? This is past, okay, he destroyed them. Right? This is that time when Daniel's, okay, he's resurrecting some to life, some to everlasting condemnation. Right? This is that time. He's going to explain. Go ahead.
Come, ye blessed of my Father.
Right?
Inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world.
Right, because the Most High has prepared the kingdom for the righteous. Right? Well, who is that? Well, imagine the righteous like slots. I always use this analogy because it's kind of easy to be understood. Imagine 144,000, there's numbers on the wall. You can fulfill that number, but it's all up to you. The Most High gives you the choice. You can be the 1/3, because there's going to be 1/3 of Israelites that are saved. The 144,000 is just the governing body. You can fulfill those slots, but it's totally up to you, right? It's to you to say, you know what? I'm going to stop playing games and do what the Most High said, or I think, you know what? The Most High is gracious. I'm going to put off from day to day. Right? Go ahead.
For I was hungered, and ye gave me meat.
Right, so now he's telling us what? What are certain stipulations on you coming in to the light, to the kingdom, to righteousness? I was what?
I was hungered, and ye gave me meat.
Right, I was hungry, and you gave to me. Right, read?
I was thirsty, and ye gave me drink.
Read?
I I was a stranger and you took me in.
Right?
Naked and you clothed me.
Read.
I was sick and you visited me.
Right?
I was in prison and you came unto me.
Right. Obviously, let's think about this. First of all, for a person to do all these things, the hunger, thirst, clothes, and naked, what's the one thing that person ain't doing? Or the one thing the person ain't? Either way, yeah.
They're not thinking about themselves.
They're not thinking about themselves. They no longer live their life for themselves. So a lot of times, I always say it, when did you come in the truth? Oh, because you heard the truth? No, I'm not asking when you heard the truth. I'm asking when did you start doing the truth? There's a difference between I heard the truth. Oh, I've been in since 1990. Right, well, why you smell like a cigarette then? You haven't been doing the truth. You know not the truth, or like the scripture said, or rather know not the truth, right? But when did you actually start doing the truth, right? So it's showing us here that these individuals put themselves aside. They stop living their own lives for the Most High. Just like Yahushua did, right? Go ahead.
Then shall the righteous answer him, saying, Lord, when Saul,
go ahead. What verse are you at?
37.
37.
When saw thee and hunger.
When saw thee and hunger.
And fed thee. Or thirsty.
Right.
And gave thee drink.
Read.
When saw we thee a stranger and took thee in.
Go ahead.
Or naked and clothed thee. Or when saw we thee sick or in prison and came unto thee.
When did we do these things? Go ahead.
And the king shall answer and say unto him, Verily I say unto you, as much as ye have done unto it unto one of.
Hold on, slow down. And as much as ye have done it unto one of the least of these, my brethren. Right? What are you doing for the brethren? The body, the nation. Come on. You got knowledge. You got wisdom. You even worried about you. You're good. But what are you doing for everybody else? What are you doing for the nation? Right? Don't do like the white man. Well, I get my turkeys out every Thanksgiving. Stop, please. Don't do that. You know what I mean? Every Passover, I barely show up. I barely show up for the Passover. Well, you should be grateful, y'all. Do you think the Most High is like, oh, Tawada, you showed up. You did right. You did good. Right? It's got to be a transition between, and there's got to be stages, growth in what you're doing. So, that's what the scripture says. It's got to be growth, right? So when did you do these things? Go to 1 John. He's going to answer. He said, when you did it for the least of my brethren, right? Go to 1 John 3 and verse 16. You're going to have to read loud. Go ahead, read it.
1 John chapter 3 and verse 16.
You got to read loud so they can hear you online. Come on.
Hereby perceive we the love of God.
Go ahead.
Because he laid down his life for us.
Read.
And we ought to lay down our lives for the brethren.
See, there you go. When did you do those things? When you stop living for yourself. When you start thinking about your nation, your people. That's when you did it. Now, remember, there's many offices. So if you're like, well, damn, bro, where do I start? How about start with the process and keep moving forward? You see what I'm saying? Because nobody's expecting you to fly yet, but you should at least be moving forward, pushing your mind to say, okay, how do I get to this point then? If Yahushua has said that's the greatest thing we need to be doing, I need to get past me. A lot of times, You're not putting in no works for nobody else because you're still caught up into what you want to do, how you want to live, and your mind is still what? Do I really have to dedicate? He said, lay down your life. What does that mean? I mean, he said it. You're like, really? I think that's your interpretation. Right? Well, really, what do you have to do then?
Wow.
If it ain't what the apostles did, what does it mean to lay down your life? And that's what you got to realize. You got to find that out. You know what I mean? That way you know, damn, these are the works of the Most High, because you're accountable now. I know what the works of the Father is, and we can go to a million scriptures to show you. But it's when you're ready to put your soap opera aside and start doing the will of the Father. Right? At whatever aspect, whatever perspective, right? Like, look, it says, give a prophet a cup of water. I know you're thinking, well, that's a small thing. That's easy. I can do that. Lie. There's some people that can't even do that. Why? Because their ego, their pride, and they're selfish. That they won't be abased to that level just to give a cup of water. It's so simple that they won't do it. So those works, everybody's going to be accountable for the moment. That's what I'm saying. He made it so easy for us. You trying to tell me all I got to do is step up like this? Right? There's got to be, I got a momentum forward? Yes, because that's what we're going to be judged off. We're going to be judged off our works. Yeah.
I was going to say, and it's needed because it's really nothing else. There's really nothing else that we should be doing because we so far back as a nation.
Right.
That what else are we going to do? We ought to give up our lives. Well, we're going to live an American dream.
Well, yeah, yeah. Some people want to live in that. They want, bro. I gotta do what I gotta do. Once again, the point is Matthew 24 was there's got to be a transitioning from this selfish mind state to actually what the Most High wants, and stop making excuses to do the will of the Father. Right? Once again, those two works in there. The works within you that are growing you and changing you, and then you're now what? Giving to others. Freely receive, freely given, freely receive, right? Freely receive, freely give, right? It's supposed to be reciprocated, right? Not just sitting here, what? Oh, I'm good, huh? Shit. Damn, I'm fat. Good class, brother. But we need help here. Man, I'm not ready for that, bruh. There's got to be a time when you do say, okay, you know what? I got to do something. I got to step the hell up, right? Where you at? Oh, somebody had their hand. That was it? That was you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where you at? Yeah. Go to 2nd Esdras 7 and 21. Yeah. Who's that? No? Let's go to 2nd Esdras 7 and verse 21. Go ahead.
2nd Esdras chapter 7 and verse 21.
Go ahead.
For Yahweh hath given straight commandment.
He had what?
Given straight commandment.
Read.
To such as gain. What they should do to live.
Right. The Most High gave us straight commandment. That's why I said when you were called, we ain't talking to somebody that's out there like don't even care or haven't even heard what a Hebrew Israelite is. They still what? They haven't been called until you or some other brother doing the will of the Father steps up to him and say, man, that's not, you're not a heathen. You're not black. You're not Hispanic. You're a Hebrew Israelite. And you're supposed to be living for the Most High. Then, at that moment in time, right, they're going to have to come to terms with that to either search, look, study, think about it, measure it in their mind. There's going to have to be something that happens. Or they just be like, you know what, nah, I'm not with that. Right? Now, I'm not saying that won't be the only time, because later down the road, a few years later, they were like, damn. Because there's a lot of brothers that came in like that. that. A lot of sisters that came in like that. They had got a flyer of the truth and moved to another city, and then they're like, man, I was talking to that about this in 5 years back, and it didn't even snap. And then that what? Sparked that in him or her, and they woke up. That's why I say, when you're called, when you're in this path, you can't be like, well, you know what? I don't want to do it. You're called. You're going to be like Jonah. The Most High He going to order you, and then what's going to happen? Your whole ship is going to what? Be tossed to and from, because you won't fulfill your calling, right? So we were talking, I was talking about with her about just showing that, like, calling doesn't mean I have to convince you. We don't need cheerleaders behind me, like, look, you're called, yeah, high five. No, you know it in your spirit, right? And not that Christianity rap stuff to where, you know what, Jesus is in my heart, I know, but I ain't gonna do the will of the Father. No, not that. I'm talking about really to say, you know what, I've been living my life wrong. There's another will, there's another purpose I'm supposed to be living for when doing the will of the Father. And what is that? Not my own works, right? Now, this doesn't mean that you're not going to have a job, you're not going to eat, you're not going to buy your clothes. Got to get that out of the way. You might have all those things, but that's your second job. Your first job is to what? Serve the Most High. You see that? So, did you finish that?
No, sir.
Go ahead. You had something else?
I was going to say it was going right what I was saying. Like I said, we're so far behind that we have to build this nation. That's our first.
Right.
And serving the Most High is building this nation back.
Right.
You know.
Right. And whatever little piece we can add. Because really, when you look at this, is our schools, you know what I mean? Our brothers and sisters, what, men, women, and children, maybe a few hundred people, right? Are we going to literally bring everybody back? No. But the Most High got everybody, little portions around everywhere doing the work. You're a piece, though. If you can add one piece, that's what you should be adding. Like, dang, I don't know about what they're doing, but I got to do a good work for the Father, right? But like we always talk about, but of course it got to start with you first, right? But there got to be a progression forward. It can't be year 5, year 6, and you're still what? I'm deciding. I'm double dutching, right? No, it can't be that. You got to snap out of it and understand, damn, it's time for me to do the will of the Father, right? All right, you finish it?
No, sir.
Go ahead.
Even as they came, and what they should do, what they should observe to avoid punishment.
To avoid what?
Punishment.
Right. Go ahead.
Nevertheless, they were not obedient unto him.
Right.
But spake against him, and imagined vain things.
Right. So, the scriptures is telling us the outcome of what's going to happen. No matter how many scriptures we go over, no matter how much knowledge we go over, how much Bible we go over, there's still going to be some that don't do and don't wake up because they just don't want to, right? So that's the works. I could keep going and going on that. Did anybody have any other questions?
No.
You have one? Okay. Well, I think she went to the restroom. I want to make sure that, she got a little bit of understanding on that. Did you have any other question on that? No. Okay, all right, on the works. I had to throw a few things in there on the works. I know your question is along that judgment line, but you got to know what we're going to be judged for, or what we're going to be punished for, because we didn't do the works of the Father, right? Or our works were evil, right? That's another way we can go with this, showing you those evil works. What works are evil? What works are righteous, right? But if that answers your question, I'll go to the next one. Yes. Right. That's the Most High want. Remember? Put off the old man, put on the new. And we just read in Matthew 24 what? You read what? What you're doing for everybody else. Right? You have to change within you, and then you have to produce works, right? And give to the nation. Right? That's what he said. So, yes, it's those two things that we're constantly working on. And there's no point that you were so... Please don't use this. Don't think this. Like, you know what? Now I'm at the point I can actually help somebody else. Bro, you're always working on yourself. There's only one perfect. That's the Father, which is in heaven. So there ain't no point where I was like, you know what? Now I can start teaching. I'm perfect. No. There was when you go to that Timothy 3, the minimum requirements had to be met, right? Like, are you still a whoremonger? You can't be a whoremonger trying to teach. So you gotta what? Cut out that. Are you still a drunkard? No, I'm not a drunkard no more. You gotta cut out that. It's like the minimum requirement standard, you gotta cut those things out. Right? And then step up, then you'll be able to step up and say, okay, I'm at least acknowledging my transgression and my stuff, and then now I can start helping other people out, right? But even in that, while you're working on yourself, what are you doing? Are you just sitting back, receiving the knowledge? There's got to be something you're doing. Even in that. Yeah, what's up, Aaron?
It made me think about a conversation I had with my uncle-in-law, my dad's sister's husband. We were just having a conversation, and I asked, so which is better? And I guess I'm pose this question to you, or actually you just answered it. Making it, or making yourself successful, building yourself up, and then going and then reaching back to pick someone else up, or as you grow, help someone grow, and as at every step, every pinnacle moment, you're going back, right? It's what.
Okay, I know where you're at, but let's examine it like this without going too far to this deep depthness of this. But it's simple. Is there anybody perfect? Okay, so what is your level of clean? The level of clean gotta be the basic standard, that Timothy's 3, to where you're saying, okay, I'm acknowledging that I'm still doing these things or not doing these things, right? And he gave us a list. Like, damn, are you at least working on that, right? Because if not, it's going to be hard for you to teach others and you be a castaway. So, but when you're working on, when you got those things in at least control, are you perfect then? No, you're not gonna be perfect, because let's say in Timothy's it says about if a man can't take care of his own house, right? A lot of times a man starts to really realize and acknowledge, damn, I got a house to take care of, and he's so far back that, like, I'm gonna do it like this, right? There's certain brothers in here that pass tests, right? And if I can use Bakar, he passed the soldier's test. He's like, every time I tell him, go take the officer's test, like, he's like, damn, but I'm barely working on these things. And the thing is this, you're always going to be working on it. But are you at least acknowledging that the old man was wrong? See, that's the difference between a brother that is in oblivion. He don't want to realize nothing he's doing is wrong, nothing he's doing is off. A sister that don't want to realize she's doing nothing is off. Y'all just looking at me weird. They're all the way back in a low stage. He went over it the other day. He said they were beasts before me.
God.
Right? They won't even get a chance unless they change their mind to grow at all. Right? But he's got a momentum building. Is he perfect? No. But am I perfect? No. But there's an acknowledgement of what we know we need to be doing and what not to do. I know this. I'm not supposed to be a thief. You know what I mean? If I'm right in my mind and knowing how to make sure I deal with the money, then the Most High is going to bless certain things around me. He wouldn't even give us certain things as a body. He wouldn't even let anything be built to that point. Right? Not in this work. Not in this work. The Most High always destroys a lot of that. You know what I mean? You got cats smoking cigarettes, smoking weed, being drunks. Right? Like the Most High didn't. I looked at when I was drinking like that, the Most High didn't let the camp grow because I was immature in that area. It was like, bro, you're not even paying attention to the things that are important. You drinking too damn much. You see that? So I know just by myself how the Most High will stop certain growth based on when you aren't ready. And you don't give a damn or you don't acknowledge. But when you acknowledge Timothy's 3 and say, you know what? I'm realizing I'm a bad husband. I'm a drunk. I'm a brawler. I'm fighting with my rib. I'm fighting with brothers. I'm like, right? You realize these things? And you start working on it, then the Most High can work with your mind now. He said, okay, now he's trying to live just. Now she's trying to live just. You see that? But just because you acknowledge him, are you perfect in it? No. I barely work. He can say, damn, I'm working on this now. But I'm not perfect in it. But you're not. But you know what to do, and you're doing it in your house, and that's important. You're doing it with yourself. That's important. You're cutting certain things off and severing them. That's important. There's a step forward. Because if that was the case, if we had to be perfect, was Paul perfect? Peter perfect? Nah, nobody was perfect, but there has to be a level of what? Okay, this cat is trying to be right. It can't just be like, yeah, go to, everybody sins. Go to Revelations. You can't judge me, brother. Yeah, bro, what are you talking about? The scriptures tell you the basic level requirements of how to clean yourself up, right? And obviously, if I'm doing this, I don't give a damn, right? So there's a whole lot of problems with that, right? So that's all I'm saying is that don't judge it off of, damn, am I perfect? Am I good enough? Well, that's why brothers around you are going to be able to measure that. Like, if he's not working on something, remember, we always go through this. If he's not working on something, because every man is right in his own eyes, right? We're going to be able to see by his fruit. Knowing them that labor among him. We're going to be able to say, yeah, you know what? You stop working on this, bro. What's up with you? At first, you was like on it, but now look at you. Why'd you give up in this area? We're going to be able to show him and remind him and be our brother's keeper and what? Help him and remind him. You see that? So, it's not about being perfect, but it is about making yourself required to live the standard that the Most High set up. Yeah. You agree? Yeah. Yeah, and obviously we could be here. There's a lot of scripture we can go over with that. Anything else? No. All right. What's up? You had something?
Tom. So I was wondering on the scenario of swearing. Like, let's say you swear to the Most High on something, and then you realize it was foolish. In a male's point of view, swearing to, how would you undo it? Or
why did you throw that in a male's point of view thing in there?
Because I understand a woman, if she has a husband, it can be disannulled. But
right.
If it's a man, then how would I disannul it?
Well,
how would work?
You missed it yesterday. We literally went over this last night. It's funny. Did we not, y'all? We literally went over this in the law yesterday. Go to Matthew 5. It's funny. No cap. Go to Matthew 5. The brother had asked a question about the law yesterday, and we were showing how that the Spirit, Yahushua was leading us from the written letter deeper into the depths of the law. But the scripture tells you about the swearing. Read that. Matthew 5, 33. Go ahead.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 33.
Go ahead.
Again, ye have heard that it hath been said by them of old time,
right?
Thou shalt not forswear thyself.
So you have, right? That's the law. Don't forswear yourself, meaning like commit to something and then go against it. Don't say something and then go against it. But look at when Yahushua, the edification he gives us. Go ahead.
But shalt perform unto the Lord thine oath. But I say unto you, swear not at all, neither by heaven, for it is God's throne.
Right. But swear not by heaven. Don't swear to the Most High. Go ahead. Or don't swear by the heavens. Go ahead.
Nor by the earth.
Right. Don't swear to the earth.
For it is his footstool. Neither by Jerusalem.
Go ahead.
For it is the city.
I swear on Yerushalayim, brother. No, you're not going to do that. Go ahead.
For it is the city of the great king.
Go ahead.
Neither shalt thou swear by thy head, because thou canst not make one hair white or black.
Right.
But let your communication be yea, nay, nay.
The Most High said, don't swear. Stop making vows because you know you're going to break them. Just do it.
Done.
That's literally it. That's the wisdom that Christ gave us. You forswear something, you make a vow, and you break the vow. That's why he said, don't do that. Right? That's the answer, right? Why? Because the problem is this. Go to Ecclesiastes 5 and 2.
Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 2.
Go ahead.
Be not rash with thy mouth.
Because the problem is that a lot of brothers, sisters, are rash with their mouth. They say things, baby, man, you know what? I put this on my mama. You know what I mean? Every year, it's going to be me and you, anniversary. I don't care what happens. You know what I mean? Every year, you come into the truth, and she's like, but you said. It's like, yeah, but the Most High, I'm busy. I'll be about my Father's business now. No, but you said anniversary. Most High said, listen, stop making damn vows. Stop making what? Tell it, you know, put it on somebody.
You gotta let them know she talked to the old man.
Right. You talk to the old man. When I said that, I wasn't in my right mind. Right? I made a vow that obviously I couldn't keep. It's obvious, right? It should be obvious. So that's the problem. Yahushua come back and said, instead of just being wrath, you got so many people that can't control their tongue. Just don't even vow nothing. Just let your yea be yea and nay be nay. You know what? I'm gonna go on a week fast. You don't have to go on. You don't have to be like, I put this on my mama on it, You know what I mean? Listen, I'm going on this week fast. We're doing juicing. No, you're not. You're going to do 3 days juicing, and then the 4th day you're going to what? Reconsider life. Right? Like, you know what? Like, don't do that. Just, you say it for yourself. You say, I'm going to do. Then, if you break it, you're not going to make yourself look stupid before the Father or the angels. Right? And this, he goes on and tells us what?
And let not thy heart be hasty to utter anything before the Most High.
See? You get in, you start praying, you get on your knees. Listen, the fact is this. You know what the Most High want to see? He want to see action anyway. He don't want to hear you say, I put this on you, Yahweh. Like, Yahweh, I'll put this on my kids. I ain't going to do it no more. He don't want to hear you say that. He just want to hear you what? Do it. He want to see you do it. Right, we can put that one next. Go ahead.
For For the Most High is in heaven, and thou upon earth.
Go ahead.
Therefore, let thy words be few.
Let your words be few. Like, you don't gotta ramble. You don't gotta you don't gotta keep. He said it, vain repetition. You know what I mean? How I said it. How I said it. Like, no, just tell him. He knows, right? He already knows before you say it, but he wants to see your plea. He wants to see you plead. Go ahead.
For a dream cometh through the multitude of busyness.
Go ahead.
And a fool's voice is known by multitude of words.
You talking too much, huh? Most I don't want. Forget all that talk. You know what I mean? Let me see some action, is what the Most High is saying. Go ahead.
When thou vowest a vow unto the Most High, defer not to pay.
Go ahead.
For he hath no pleasure in fools.
See? And that's the problem. Why do you think Christ had to come back and say that? Right? Because you make yourself look stupid before the Father. You make yourself look stupid before people. You know what I mean? Let your yea be yea and your nay be nay. Go ahead.
Pay that which thou hast vowed.
Pay what you owe. Pay what you vowed. Do what you said you were going to do. Right? Because you still have agreements. You still have agreements. Right? You got to do that. Right? You can't say you're going to do something, then don't do it. Go ahead.
Better it is that thou shouldest not vow. Than that thou shouldest vow and not pay.
Right? Go ahead.
Suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin.
Yeah. Because your word is your bond. Your name is everything. That's why we had to go over a class a while about, it was no joke, like reminding brothers and sisters, like, look, brothers have said things in the past in the world. You can't, you wives and you brothers and sisters, you can't hold your husband to something he said in the past. He wasn't in the right mind. He wasn't in the spirit of the Most High. Now he knows what? Nah, I'm not going to say things that I know I can't keep. Right? Go ahead.
Neither say thou before the angel that it was an error.
Right. Now, we just touched on this. What is the angel doing? Why does it say before the angel? Because what is he doing? He writing it down. He's like, the scriptures say every idle word you say. He writing that down. So you can't speak loosely in the spirit, because why? All that's being recorded. This cat just running his mouth, running her mouth. I just need a good man. Oh Lord, if you send me a righteous man. Shalom, sister. You know what I mean? Nigga, you too righteous. Y'all too serious. Like, wait a minute, you cried for a righteous man. You cried. That's why I said the Most High knows your cat. You know what I mean? You cried for a righteous sister.
They just wanted a good one.
Right, they just wanted a good one, right? They wanted a good person in the bed. That's it.
No man.
Right. Go ahead. Where you?
Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 29. So just on the just taking it deeper when you go going to what's happening to that Matthews, where it talks about the one we just read in Matthew 5:33.
Let your yea be yea, your nay be nay.
Yeah, it's about your yea be yea, your nay be nay, right? Because it's a maturity level. You're looking at yourself and you're looking at your maturity and what you're able to do in action. So reread that.
Ecclesiasticus 4 and verse 29. Be not hasty in thy tongue.
Because you got to be able to examine yourself and your maturity level and see that right now I'm just hasty in my tongue. So I got to be watchful what I say if I'm going to try to vow something and see that my actions ain't there yet. Which is going to tell you that, read.
And in thy deeds slack and remiss.
Because you see that your words and your actions, they don't meet. They don't line up with each other. So you being careful, so your nay got to be nay, your yea got to be yea. So you get that maturity level, so you get to that mature point to where now you're able to, when you vow something, you're able to complete it. That's what you want to be looking at. And that's why you jump to Ecclesiastes 5 and 11.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 5 verse 11. Be swift to hear.
Yeah, that's why you got to be swift to hear. That's you seeking out counsel. So before we just making decisions and just try to just blurt things out in the spirit and say, I'm going to do this, y'all. You want to go seek out some help and listen. Read.
And let thy life be sincere.
Because it's going to keep you safe. It's going to keep you safe from just throwing out things to the Most High.
Yeah.
And you're not able to keep it because your deeds are slack and remiss.
Yeah.
Read.
Yeah, so you know how you made the statement about the women? It's for the men too. Like if you did what the scripture says through counsel, then a brother would tell you ahead of time, hey, you can't do that. You know what I mean? You're not going to be able to do that based on this and that and this and this. You're not looking at that clearly. Oh, you know what? I'm glad I didn't say nothing, right? Yeah.
Go ahead.
And with patience give answer.
Yeah, so then when you're ready to make that prayer, you're ready to make a vow, you're able to give yourself a realistic you're looking at yourself with a realistic outlook. Like I know where I'm at, I know where my maturity level is at, and I know what I need to pray to the Most High.
Yeah.
So you're thinking before you speak. You're counseling before you act. Because in the multitude of counsel there's safety. So, calm.
Yeah. Yeah, you got that? What's up?
I was kind of thinking, like, so I had said that most I was going to do something, and it was like on a long-term spectrum. I know that it's not possible now. So, would it be sufficient if I just change it to a...
Well, hold on a second.
Yeah.
All things are possible, Yahweh Shai.
I didn't like that either.
It's not that it's not possible. It's that your brain ain't ready to follow the path to commit to do it. So let's be real. This ain't about it can't be done. It can be done. I can do all things through Yahweh Shai, which strengthens me. The problem is, what you're realizing is, let's be real, black man, you don't want to do it. See, I know. That's the reality of it. It ain't got nothing to do with what.
I mean,
I can't do it.
I was just trying to figure out if I could like switch it to a, you know what I'm saying, a time screen or something. But I'm gonna try to just go ahead.
The Most High knows your heart, brother. Whatever wow you're talking about, the Most High knows your heart. I'm just trying to show you that you can do it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Whatever you're fighting for, whatever you're trying to achieve, believe in Yahweh, follow wisdom, and get the strength to achieve what you want to achieve. And if you spoke rashly, now you know. Right? That's the whole point of all this, right? You know, next time I'm going to shut my mouth and just do it. Right? That's what grace is for. You know what I mean? We all did it. We all men, right? Now, men of wisdom, though, knows how to control their tongue. And before they speak, think. That's it. You know what I mean? So don't beat yourself up. Just know next time, don't speak nothing before the Most High, before the angels, so they can record your folly. You know what I mean? So, any other questions? I mean, did that answer? Did it? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What you had? I thought you had a question. Okay. You have a question? Okay. What's your question?
Okay. So in school once, I was out around my Bible because the other day this girl said that there's no such thing as order. So I brought up 1 Corinthians 14:40 that these are being ordered.
Okay.
And then after that, she said that she looked at my Bible and she saw God. Then for some reason on my Bible was writing like God has power, and she said God doesn't have power.
God does have what?
Power. And I didn't know how to break it down, so I didn't say anything. I just wanted, in my question, I just wanted to know how to break it down.
Break what down?
Like that God does have power.
That the Most High has power. All right. What scripture we got for him, y'all? Let's. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. What scripture? Well, we can give you a few scriptures real quick. I mean, it's the last few minutes anyway, class. Did anybody have anything else while we grab him? Yeah, sis.
Well, I wanted to know in Hosea 1 and 2. At some point it says she a lot, but then it sounds like it's talking about Israel.
Let's go there. Oh, y'all grab him some scriptures on the Most High being the power, right? And then somebody grabbed me. You said Hosea.
1 and 2.
Hosea.
Well,
Hosea, first chapter and the second verse.
I think it's the fourth one. That's when it starts throwing me a little bit.
Okay, Hosea 1 and 4. Right? Somebody go there. Go ahead, read that.
Hosea chapter 1 verse 4.
Uh-huh.
And the Most High said unto him, call his name Jezreel. For yet a little while, and I will avenge the blood of Jezreel.
Okay, let's start at Hosea 1 verse 1.
Hosea chapter 1 verse 1. The word of the Lord that came unto Hosea, the son of Beeri, in the days of Uzziah, Joachim, Ahaz, and Hezekiah, kings of Judah, and in the days of Jeroboam, the son of Joash, king of Israel. The beginning of the word of the Most High by Hosea. And the Most High said unto Hosea, go, take unto thee a wife of whoredoms, and children of whoredoms, for the land had committed great whoredom, departing from the Most High.
Right, so you see this a lot. He did it with Isaiah, he did it with Ezekiel, right? He said, you're going to go get a wife, and your wife's going to be a whore, right? Because this was going to be symbolic for what Israel was doing. Go ahead.
So he went and took Gomer, the daughter of Diblaman, which conceived and bare him a son.
Go ahead.
And the Most High said unto him, call his name Jezreel.
Call his name Jezreel. Go ahead.
For yet a little while, and I will avenge the blood of Jezreel upon the house of Jehu, and will cause to cease the kingdom of the house of Israel.
So remember, Hosea was symbolically doing what the Most High was going to do with the nation. Okay? Because what was going on during this time? You got Israel against Israel, Judah against Israel. So the Most High is like, look, I'm going to take these cats out. Your son is going to be a symbolic gesture towards them. That's what's happening here. You see that?
I get it now.
Yeah.
Because it was saying she, and then it's like I destroyed it. It just seemed like it was bouncing back and forth. So
Yeah.
I wasn't quite sure.
What's going on? Yeah. So that's what's happening here. I mean, that was it? Okay. Yeah.
I got some scriptures for his question.
Okay, what you got?
First one is Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39.
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of. Go ahead, read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 39. See now that even I am he, and there is no God with me. I kill, and I make alive. I wound, and I heal.
Right, so that right there, Manatazak, showed you that Yahweh, the God of the Bible, is the only power. Right? So you got to write that one down.
Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 29.
Got to study.
Write it in your notebook.
Got to get in the book.
Write it in your notebook.
All right, any other ones y'all have for them?
Gone.
You got another one? What you got?
Gone. I got 3. I got 5.
Okay, all right. Well, listen. What you're going to do is you're going to give it to them later, all right? I know y'all got them. All right? Does anybody got any other questions, though? All right? Anything else? Remember, we're waiting online. It is the Sabbath. Let me say this. Remind y'all why, before y'all start jumping off the line, get your Passover in. Get your Passover garment money in. They already started. Asa started the torch. It's only, what is it, $30 every check? He lit the torch with it. Everybody, why? We don't want the sisters to do garments all the way to the Passover day. So if y'all start getting the money in now, but at least by December, we have majority of it, right? And then they can start working on it. So please, keep that in mind to get your garment money in. Yes?
What's the total?
That's a good question. You're a trooper, so what was the trooper garments?
350.
So 350. Yeah. And I'm saying that because I'm sure it shouldn't change. If it does, at least you'll have majority of it in, right? And if it's cheaper, then let you know, right? So that's what we're just trying to do, is make it easy on the women. I'm sick and tired of year after year the sisters working their fingers to the bone the day of the Passover. So let's be considerate and just take out $30 out of your check. 30 of the first, 30 of the 15, send them the $60, and then that way it can build up, and then they can, man, at least if they can say, okay, we can order the stuff now, you know what I mean? A majority of the stuff, and get started on them by December, that's a win. That's a win, to at least get started on it. So please keep that in mind, all right? Con? All right, come on, man. We gotta do this for him. Last year, it was bad. It was bad. It was like, man, not only us here in this city. It was Houston working to the bone. You know what I mean? The only one probably was easy was Rochester. There's only 4 sisters over there. All right, so until that grows, then it'll get harder. But they over here, look at all these brothers, all the garments. You know what I mean? That y'all have to do. You know what I mean? And the kids you have to do. The kids will work too. You got to do all that. You got to do all those garments. So please keep that in mind. All right. Other announcements. Alms. If y'all can give alms to help out the school, and you don't, please do it. We appreciate it. Right? We're not strong army, but we're asking for help. All right. So anything you want to give monthly to help out with the school and the school bills, we would appreciate it. All right. Other than that, it is the Sabbath. Let's keep it holy. You kids, be engaged. It's the Shabbat. Be engaged in the spirit of the Most High. Like, don't forget what day it is, and just act like you don't understand that this day is supposed to be for the Most High. Right? So this day, keep your mind locked in more than ever. Y'all got that? Yeah, it got to be a reminder. We got to keep reminding them that, look, yeah, are y'all studying? Do you take time out for the Most High, or is this just a regular day for you? Do you open up your book? Right? Because the brothers go out, we go out, street speak, Sabbath class, street speak. You guys go home and think what? It's still the Sabbath. So are you keeping your mind on the Shabbat and locking your spirit into pleasing the Most High? Right? Y'all agree? Okay. Other than that, did we have anything online? Nothing online?
Wow.
Okay. All right. Well, so let's salute them. Let's say shalom. Shalom. We'll see y'all in the morning. Shabbat.
Chilling up in the kingdom, chilling with Yahweh Shai and all the brothers and the sisters, cooling out, having fun, drinking yayin with Yahweh Shai up in the kingdom, yeah.
Who are we? It's brother. That who are we is I can't hear you. Israel. Who's the power?
Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai's the power.
I said, who's the power?
Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai's the power.